In today's video, we're going to continue our coverage on the DC Cinematic Universe, the DC Studios, that is the DCU and DC ElseWorld. So we haven't made a DC video since Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom, which was ages ago. And realistically, I have negated away from talking about DC because there hasn't actually been any real news to go over. But there is some interesting stories that I want to go over, being the Batman and Superman. Not Superman Legacy, a different Superman that hasn't even been, we don't even know who the Superman is, but apparently J.J. Abrams' Superman movie is still in development. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? Wish you have you on Nero, and make sure you subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture-based content that I try to cover on a daily basis. If you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know down below what the freaking hell is going on at DC Studios. Now, it was never my intention not to cover DC. It's just there isn't a live-action movie coming out till next year. Okay, cool, the Joker's coming out this year, but that's coming out towards the end of the year, if I've got my dates right. So if you could check us out on Instagram at Warstu to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful face. And if you could check us out on Twitter, Warstu. So, since yesterday, James Gunn was asked a question about J.J. Abrams' Superman movie still being in the works. And according to James Gunn, it's still in the works, which is very strange. Because Bad Robot, which is a company owned by J.J. Abrams, signed an exclusive deal with Warner Media, reportedly worth in the region of $250 million back in 2019, courtesy of The Hollywood Reporter. Thus far at the moment, we have had no updates. We've actually had him do no projects. This deal has not amounted to absolutely anything. So when James Gunn gets asked a question, and that's kind of sus, I don't know why. Why does he pick Threads? Out of all the social media websites to reply to people, he picks Instagram Threads. So according to him, and he is the co-head of DC Studios, which runs everything at DC. So any project going on would have to go through him now, even if he didn't green light it. So according to him, the J.J. Abrams Superman movie is still in the works. So a user on Threads said, is that Abrams Superman Elsewhere project still in development? And he said yes, which is very strange because surely we understand why there's two Batman movies, or will be, because the Batman Robin Pattinson made $700 million plus at the cinema theaters, probably one of DC's most profitable movies in years. And we understand why there's going to be a new Batman in DCU, because that Batman storyline with the Matt Reeves universe is still current and it's still going on. But to introduce a new Superman, apparently, will this ever see the light of day? We don't know. But if it's still in development, if the money that was given to Bad Robot Company is still being used, there's going to be two different Superman. David Korsnick's Superman, obviously he's going to be playing Superman in Superman Legacy that comes out next year. Yo, Warstu, why haven't you covered any of the updates? Because there's been no updates for Superman Legacy. I'm not going to make a video because James Gunn posts a picture that could be the Sorceress of Solitude. I'm not going to make a video because we've now found out that David Korsnick screen tested in the suit, in Henry Cavill's suit, and the suit wasn't big enough for him. Guess what? David Korsnick is taller than Henry Cavill. He's 6'4". Henry Cavill, it says he's 6'2", but I've met Henry Cavill. I'm just over 6 foot. I would argue if Henry Cavill is really 6'2". But from a human point of view, the taller you are, the bigger and longer your clothes need to be. So of course it didn't fit him well because he is substantially amount taller than Henry Cavill. So it's pointless making Superman Legacy update videos unless we get a trailer, unless there's some behind the scenes footage comes out, unless something leaks that's huge. With all the fake leaks going around, it's hard to tell what's real and what's not real. When it comes to the DCU, James Gunn likes to debunk some stuff, but doesn't debunk other stuff. So I've stayed away from the Superman Legacy stuff. It's not because I've got some vendetta against it and I'm not going to support it. If it's cool, which I hope it should be, you know, they all seem to be competent actors. James Gunn is a competent director. Not really sure about a head of a studio, but we don't know about that. So that's the reason why I haven't really covered Superman Legacy stuff, because it's kind of irrelevant and pointless at the moment because the movie comes out late next year. So what is the point? There is no point. But will this J.J. Abrams Superman movie ever see the light of day? I don't think it will, but for James Gunn to actively come out on social media and say it's still in development, it's pretty freaking wild, because you know what that's going to do? You're going to get the Snyderverse people out going, yo, if we can get a random new Superman from J.J. Abrams Superman, allegedly being written by Nicosia Coates, I don't rate that writer at all. And then people are like, yo, why can't we get a third Superman? Why can't we get a Henry Cavill Superman? Because Henry Cavill Superman he doesn't really want to do it. That will never happen. Move on, Snyder Bros. But you're going to get them questions now just by answering this one question. So the Batman 2 is set to go to shoot later this year in August. And this caused massive controversy. 2 weeks ago, DC head James Gunn had stated that no script had been submitted to him yet. And people said, oh my God, James Gunn is trying to cancel the Batman 2. No, he's not. Obviously, he didn't greenlight it because that's been greenlit for ages. But now he is the head of the studio alongside Pete Safran. He will have to okay the script. So just because the final script hasn't been submitted does not mean they haven't seen any script yet, so please stop the nonsense. A deadline has now been set apparently for early February, with casting to follow soon afterwards. The film is set to be theatrically released October the 3rd, 2025. And what is pretty funny is James Gunn recently debunked one of the most credible scoopers and literally debunked every single villain for the movie. So let me get it straight. The final script hasn't been handed in yet, and you've got so-called insiders telling you the plot, telling you what's happening, telling you literally every villain for the movie, yet he's actually come out publicly and said he has not seen the final version. Yet these so-called Twitter scoopers are getting information when he hasn't even seen the final script. It sounds to me that Matt Reeves, the script isn't finished yet. Now, the Batman 2 has so much potential because the first movie was so damn good. Very good. But just chill. I will only do videos about DC when there's actual real information. Just like I've said about Superman Legacy. There is pointless making a video because James Gunn likes a post. James Gunn followed someone on Instagram. You're saying someone is playing Supergirl because James Gunn follows someone on Instagram. Do you know what you sound like? You sound worse than the Snyder Bros to me. You're making a video because someone followed someone, and now this means someone is being... Get here, like seriously. There hasn't been much DC news for months, for absolute months. Outside of the Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League video game and the Joker, because that's finished the filming it, etc. And they released a bunch of pictures. There's been no real DC information for nearly years. The last real information was Rachel Brosnahan and David Korsnett being casted as Superman and Lois Lane, respectively. So I've not turned my back on DC like a lot of people have come out and said in the comment section. I just make videos about what I want to make videos about. And I like to make videos about Marvel, DC, and the Kaiju Monsterverse. But at the moment, there really isn't anything to talk about when it comes to DC. But I see a few stories, I'll talk about them. I wish there was more to talk about. I wish there was some credibility to these scoops and these leaks to do with DC, but there really isn't. Or there could be. But if there is, then James Gunn's lying about the script and the plot leak for Superman Legacy. But we'll find out when they start shooting maybe, or we'll find out when the movie comes out. So hopefully I can start doing DC videos, because I kind of miss doing DC videos, but there really isn't any real information to talk about. So I can't force myself to make a video just because James Gunn likes something or James Gunn follows an actor, and that means now they're going to be a DC actor. I'm pretty sure James Gunn follows hundreds of people. I'm pretty sure not every single person he follows is going to work with him. Behave. Like always, guys, let me know. What do you think? Will we ever get the J.J. Abrams Superman movie? I don't know. And how hyped are you for the Batman 2? And what should the plot be? Seeing as James Gunn debunked the multiple villains that we're getting in that movie, hopefully there is multiple villains. But we don't know. Just put Scarecrow in there if you really want. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at WarstuG. Check us out on Twitter at WarstuG. And I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.